It's very much an international time of the year, this. In the amateur game, the Bala Great Britain Lions arrived in Perth, Western Australia earlier this week for the start of a 4-match, 3-week tour, coached by the former Great Britain international John Fieldhouse. They play Rockingham Sharks tomorrow. We wish the British lads all the best, of course.
And a gallant bunch of gentlemen, including Steve Prescott, MBE. They're cycling all through Britain. They've done 820 miles already, climbed Snowdon, Scafell, and tomorrow, would you believe, they climb Ben Nevis. And on top of that, they then go on to John O'Groats. Well done, lads. Keep it going.
Yeah, keep on pedalling and keep on climbing. And talk about keep on pedalling. England had better keep on going in this second half. Richards gets us underway. One of his trademark high-hanging kickoffs right underneath the posts and the crossbar. Here comes Gareth Carvell. Now, what do you think Steve McNamara would have asked of his side in this second half?
Well, I mentioned it just before the half-time break, Eddie, is that someone out there on the England side have got to say, I'm going to take control. We've already seen in that first 40, the exiles, Rangi Chase, Thomas Luluwai, they were the men that were making sure that they got the ball out wide. He has to find and make sure that Sinfield and Myler do exactly the same thing. Far too many players in that first half wanted to take first receiver. You've got to have two out there to control it, and Sinfield's doing that now.
And he gets the short ball away to Gareth Carvell. He is the last tackle in this opening set of 6 of the second half, and Sinfield will hoist the kick. It's high, it's a little bit deep, but Hodgson is safe as houses underneath those. Decent chase, though, from the English.
Calm, cool and collected, as always, Brett Hodgson. Really was impressive whilst he was at the Giants, and it's been a very, very good buy for Warrington, hasn't he? He's played exceptionally well, solid as a rock.
Just seen a great tackle by Adrian Morley. Anytime you can send Pat Richards back towards his own try line, you know you've won a physical challenge, and certainly Morley sent Richards back and I think took some wind out of him as well.
Morrison plays the ball. Here goes Fitzgibbon again. And England have restricted the exiles to their own 40-metre line here, so wait for the kick. There it is from Rangi Chase under intense pressure. It was high, straight into the arms of Tompkins. Here comes Ryan Hall now for England on the counter.
And that's what England have got to do. They've got to make sure that they get right into the face of Rangi Chase. They did on that occasion, turned out to be a poor kick. But they've also got to do it when he's got ball in hand as well, when he's taking them on. He's mesmerised through him. Wilkin offload, that's good.
Yes, it was, but Sia Soliola read the script. Sam Tompkins brought to ground. Myler appealing for a penalty, non-forthcoming from the whistle of Mr. Silverwood as Briscoe takes it forward on the third tackle.
Go, stand up.
Here is Carvell. Carvell is picked up on the horizontal, dropped to the ground. McIlorum. Here is Myler. On the inside was Tompkins. That's the last tackle this set of 6 for England. They've ended up where the exiles started, on the 40-metre line. It goes high off the boot of Kevin Sinfield, spiralling all over the place, but Richards is safe, isn't he?
I think Steve McNamara won't be happy with it. An unchallenged kick, Eddie. He's gone high, he's taken it well, but under no pressure. There was none of the English players that are contesting that position. Now, unless that's a policy in which they want to trap the exiles in possession, but I think now the second kick we've seen, you'd expect a little more pressure on your opponents.
Yeah, it's not the great way to finish, not the best way to finish, Phil, but I think their sets have been very, very good. I think they've held the middle unit, which I spoke about at half-time. That's obviously a tactic.
Let's go to the other side of the ground. Bill, with news of half-time.
Well, that England kicking game is one of the areas that Steve McNamara is looking for an improvement in. Just one or two areas they need to tighten up, but pretty satisfied with that first 40 minutes and certainly the effort, the commitment put in. And the hope is that they're going to be able to outlast this exile side. They'll have the legs on them as the game wears on and continue to really batter at them and hope to crack the exiles' defence. Brian McLennan's mood is pretty upbeat, delighted with the way things have gone. They're looking, though, that one of the areas they are concerned with is the speed of the play of the ball. They're looking to slow England down because they are catching them once or twice in that area.
Yes, a quicker play of the ball is what England need, no doubt about that. See, there's all that fiddling and faffing around going on. Super League, we would have been screaming at the referee to blow the whistle and give the tackle team a penalty, but Maybe a bit different at international origin level. I don't know. Here's the last tackle. And again, a slow play the ball by England. Off the boot of Tompkins this time. High. Sinfield's after it, and a good chase on the kick by Kevin Sinfield.
But again, solid as a rock is a man, isn't it, Brett Hodgson? But it had the height, and that was good, and that's good defence. Good hit by Chris Bridge. You can always rely on this fellow, Brett Hodgson. Very rarely does he spill the ball.
Good defensive set here, though, for England, deep in exile territory.
It's been a great start to the second half, hasn't it? Those 3 sets, they've been under control, they've run the ball strongly, but maintaining that concentration here now, when you've got players as dangerous as Rangi Chase and Thomas Luluai, is the challenge here for England. A good start for almost 5 minutes, but you've got to keep the pressure on them.
Last tackle coming up for the exiles here. He made 30 metres or so. Spiralling kick again, and Tompkins is underneath that. Again, the crowd boo Sam Tompkins. I just can't believe and can't understand why they turn up and boo an England player. Just ridiculous.
They pay the money, Eddie. They can do what they like, and I know it's not right. Maybe if it spiced up a little bit, they might start saying, well, he's on our side. And that's what we've got to try to create.
Maybe the exiles have flown in for the match, Steve, or maybe all their supporters are underneath us, eh? McIlorum and O'Loughlin. Sinfield trying to skip away from Rangi Chase, gets the ball away to Morley. Morley goes up the middle.
Quick play the ball, come on. Get on with it, that's it.
O'Loughlin. And a cut-out pass for Joel Tompkins.
That'll be a knock-on. And again, you wonder whether it's the pass or whether it's the man that's overrun. Yeah, I suppose it wasn't really meant for him, and just got a touch to it. And I think you'll find that Chris Bridge didn't realise that was going straight to the winger.
Well, after 6 good minutes, this is the test here now. OK, England have failed to complete a set, they've lost possession, but will they play here now with the same defensive intensity they've had for the last 6 minutes? That's, I'm sure, what the coaches asked for, because when you play against New Zealand and Australia at the end of the year, that concentration and that intensity and ferocity needs to be maintained, as we see Badeiros leave the field, seems to be cut above the left eye.
Yes, he needs a patch-up or two. Well, there's been a change. If he goes Badeiros to the dressing room, gets some attention to that cut eye. David Fayumu, who is no stranger, of course, to the hooking role. He's been a key figure for the Huddersfield Giants this year. He's the man who comes on to replace the skipper. This, meanwhile, is Pat Richards.
Look very composed, don't they, the exiles? They seem to understand that the good hard work in the forwards now.
Well, Brian McLennan's been talking about them all week in the media. You know, they've gelled, they're gelling as a group, they're looking confident.
Got to make sure England, though, that they're not sucked in with a tight defence, and then when the exiles get a quick switch out wide, and they can do that through Chase and Luluai.
Luluai to Fitzgibbon. He spun then and thought about a possible offload, but the England defenders clamped the ball to him. Here's Luluai now with the kick. That's inside the 40. It was an attempted 40-20, didn't quite make it.
He'll be quite happy with that, though. He realises that he can apply the pressure, and in that first half, England came up with a few errors, some pretty bad passes, actually, so they'll be confident with the positional play. And as Bill Arthur mentioned, Steve McNamara not happy with the kicking game. I'd say that with Brian McLennan, he'll be happy with that.
Straight up on the move, lads.
England were in no rush to get to that scrum.
Ball in.
And here now come the English once again. It's a solid defence on show to defend that run from Briscoe.
But again, see how they're slowing them down, and really there should be more energy from England in the ball carrying. And once you hit it, suck in 3 and then get on with it.
Might be more energy called for from the terraces as well. I mean, I hate to keep having a go about the crowd who's turned up here tonight, but they're not really exciting England with their support from the terraces. They're there in numbers. Maybe Sinfield and Joel Tompkins can get them excited here.
Well, we need a clean break. That'll lift the spirits, that's for sure. Defence from the Exiles has been pretty solid.
Sinfield's kick, crossfield, high. Hodgson's underneath it. Oh, and there was a chance there for Myler. He got a hand to it.
Certainly did. It'll be a knock on, but you've got to reflect after the restart here that the only option that England have been left with after their set of 6 has been the high kick. Okay, nearly came off on that occasion. Just need somebody in the England side to say, hey, come on, I'm going to be the boss here. You move here and you move there, and that's a silly penalty to give away by Sean O'Loughlin. Just messing around with a second goal.
Nothing unusual than what we've seen from either side all night. That's, to be fair, there's been plenty of that.
I totally agree, Ed. I think there's been a bit of latitude allowed in the tackles. I think the referees encouraged the game to flow. I think the players wanted it to flow. I think it's been played in a wonderful spirit, actually. But at the same time, I think that the play of the balls have been a little bit slower than perhaps what we're used to seeing. Therefore, the defences are able to get themselves set, and maybe we haven't seen quite as much attacking play because of it.
I think the Exiles have some sleeping giants, and here's maybe just where they're going to come to life.
Chase, good cut-out ball wide, finds Pat Richards. Richards goes past the first would-be tackler. Can't get away from the second, though. It was Sinfield. Good job he was there. Here's Rangi Chase again. Now Luluwai. Fitzgibbon takes over, drives it forward. Drags 3 England defenders with him to the 20-metre line. 4 tackles gone, couple in the bank. As Fayumu finds Luluwai, he then finds Hodgson. Hodgson gets the kick in. That was touched in flight by an Englishman. The ball is on the deck. And Ryan Hall is shepherded over the dead ball line by Francis Melly, and it will be a goal line dropout.
It's always danger, isn't it, Spell? Okay, would it ricocheted away? It wasn't the best kick in the end, but every time either Rangi Chase or Thomas Luluwai gets the football, certainly went for it, didn't he? Richard Myler got the right boot across it.
Well, in the 10 minutes of the second half, the Exiles have made 1 attacking kick, Eddie, and England 4. The Exiles are the one who, receiving possession again with a goal line dropout. Perhaps the accuracy and the difficulty of that last set kick, but tackled by John Wilkin.
Yes, it was, to halt Mark O'Mealy. And they try and halt David Farlongo, which they do. Fayumu, he finds Luluwai. Luluwai showed it to Farlongo, gave it to Rangi Chase. It's opening up again for Chase. Bridge to the rescue. He was the first man to get there to him. They're making Rangi Chase look like a world beater tonight. Fayumu again.
He's playing like a world beater. Take nothing away from his half-back partner as well, Thomas Luluwai.
Play on there. The ball went backwards.
Look at Luluwai. Give me. I want it. He's taking control, is a boy.
They give it to Hodgson instead, and here is Morrison, the elder statesman. Almost over for what would be a personal best. A great try. Oh, well, there we go. Interception by Michael Shenton. And Shenton, he's quick, but so too is Francis Melly. Now then, disarray in the Exiles defence. England wanted a quick play the ball. Here is Joel Tompkins. Bridge gets the ball away to Sinfield. The defence is marshalled now. Awful pass, really, but found its way to Sam Tompkins.
Great tackle by Soliola as well. He could see that the
that should be a penalty.
He's allowing advantage.
Tompkins. Well, now the Exiles defence is well and truly back in position. And there's the penalty for messing around at the play of the ball. I mean, to be fair to Richard Silverwood, he is trying to keep this game going, but we could have had a penalty count of something like 13-14 here, each side.
Well, George Carmont took an eternity to get off him.
McIlaurin finds Sinfield, pops it up to Morley.
No, Peacock, it was. Morley, sorry, Eddie, and not the best, was it? My apologies, but I must say, that was a very poor build-up. Chance was there, just had a little look.
I don't think there's too much wrong with the pass.
Nothing.
Maybe Adrian Morley just took his eye off the ball.
Yep.
Well, they got the opportunity after the intercept by Michael Shenton, didn't they?
I think perhaps he may have just been stood in an offside position, but got the advantage of that. Here's the deep kick downfield by Rangi Chase. The Exiles have brought one of the big guns on, Eddie, and Tony Pullatua, we've seen him in Super League for St Helens, the danger he can cause. He's back on the field now, wearing number 8. And when they get the ball, he's the man who, whether it be barnstorming down the middle of the field or late offloads, here's a late offload from England.
Yes, it was Briscoe to McIlaurin. But they surround him, the Exiles.
Wait. Go.
It is a much slower play the ball than we see in Super League week on week.
Third. Move. Go. Third.
Graham. Another little half break from Graham, and that also could have been penalised. Fayumu hanging on to his ankles as he tried to get a quick play the ball. The kick from Myler into the corner. Hodgson will have to pick this up. Will he? No, it'll just run too long.
And again, the option that England have been left with is just a kick, sometimes a high one, and the kick in the corner there. And I just get to a point that Steve McNamara, we saw in the opening stanza that the man that really threatened the Exiles, it was Luke Robinson. And maybe McNamara has to start thinking about he needs some spark out there. When will we bring Robinson back in?
I think England are getting a little frustrated by all of this. Do you think the coaching staff are, perhaps? It's Steve McNamara's sixth match as the England coach, as Robinson watches on.
Well, we obviously want England to be in front and go on and win this game, but it is, from a coaching perspective, Eddie, it's a perfect scenario. Going in towards the last quarter, a forward pass here. Jamie Pidcock's trying to lift the England side here now with a congratulations on the defence here. That pass there you see from David Fayumu, just in front of where it needed to be. But it's exactly where they want to be, isn't it? If they want a preparation, as Robinson now warms up on the side.
Yes, Luke Robinson about to be brought back into the fray by Steve McNamara. Jimmy Lowe's just coming on.
Was it 2 years ago down the road at Ellen Road, England in the game 60 minutes into the match, and Australia just advanced in that final quarter, try after try. Now we're in a similar situation. What have England learned? How have they improved in the 2 years since then?
We'll see as McIlaurin makes way for Robinson. This is Peacock to ride that tackle there from Pulatua.
Well, the one thing about Luke Robinson, they're over the first 5-10 metres. He's very, very quick. Long distance, you wouldn't bet him. But that speed off the mark is good.
Here he is. Robinson, first touch since he's come off the bench, gets a good ball away to Peacock, but there's no way through for the England skipper. Fourth tackle, last tackle coming up for England. This is Sinfield, and Tompkins and chases all over him. He gets him down.
He's taken the ball nearly, and then he's giving it back. As though Chase had stolen that.
Sinfield with a kick. Oh, it just wouldn't stick for Richard Myler.
Big grin on the face of Thomas Luluai. He knew that it was going to be the turnover. It was on the last. On a couple of occasions, they're certainly zoning in. Richard Myler knows where to position himself. That's the second time in the second half that just didn't get that touch.
Just wouldn't stick for him. Morrison now for the Exiles.
Move! Hey, Joe. Go, two. Okay.
Chase again. Just popping the ball up and allowing one of the bigger men to take it forward. That was Pulatua. This is Kylie Luluai on home turf, of course, the cousin of Thomas Luluai.
Wait. Go, four.
Is Fayumu. Fitzgibbon on the angled run. Just testing out the England skipper again. That's the last tackle. England have restricted them to their own half of the field just about. Hodgson with the kick. Right down the middle, and Sam Tompkins underneath it. Here's Ryan Hall now.
Again, a good chase as well. So we're about to go into the final quarter, and kicking game has been a lot better than England's.
Solid defence from the Exiles. No way through for Briscoe, but he's fighting to get to his feet. Here's Bridge. Let's get down to Bill.
Danny Badiris has spent quite some time in the Exiles dressing room having that cut on his forehead stitched. He's just reappeared, and it's heavily strapped, but he's keen to get back out there. He's right on the sidelines already, putting his hand up, and in fact I think he will be back very shortly. Straight out of the dressing room, just been with the doctor, and he's going to get back into the action.
Here meanwhile is Sean O'Loughlin and Joel Tompkins. Just can't get through this really solid Exiles defence, can they? Last one.
Well, they won't. You saw England do the inside pass, and I'm afraid they gave it to a player, Sean O'Loughlin it was, but he was actually stood still. If you're going to come on the inside pass, you've got to either come on the angle and you've got to come on to the football. Not take it, stood still.
Melly drives it forward on the first tackle.
I think England seem happy with the grind, don't they? They're prepared to go set to set. We obviously want them to excite us and come up with some breaks and tries. They just seem happier to try and grind down their opponents, force them to repeatedly pick up the ball near their own try line and try and make it out to their half of the field. And I think England's confidence is that they'll crack eventually. 3 men still in that tackle shows a great deal of defensive desire.
There is definitely defensive desire on there, but there's been no sign of any defensive frailties from the exiles either, as Luluwai pumps the ball over the top again. And,
great kick. Absolutely wonderful.
Kick.
Yeah. And getting back to you, Phil, when you regard to that, you know, 10 clean breaks by the exiles, only 3 from England. Tells its own story.
Yeah, I would say attack has to be poor, doesn't it? I think the coach would rate it that way at this stage. Tom Briscoe now tries to magic his way out of trouble.
Nearly did as well, but for the attention there of Willie Manu. That's a solid hit. Well, this it's a good workout that the England players are getting here. Peacock, like it comes to Tompkins, he puts a great ball through to Wilkin. Wilkin over the top, and it just wouldn't go into the arms of Luke Robinson.
Well, James Graham has said, why didn't you give it to me? I mean, James has got, well, he's pretty speedy for a prop forward, I'll put it this way. Wilkin made the break, really should have gone straight away. Okay, Badiris was zoning in, but why on earth didn't they give it to James Graham? Is, as I say, quite speedy for the big prop.
Well, 20 minutes to go, and this is danger time for English international sides traditionally, as Morrison goes forward again, tackled by Shenton.
He's enjoyed it, hasn't he? He's got through a lot of work as Glenn Morrison.
Luluwai, back to Rangi Chase. Gets the ball away and it sticks to Carmont. That was touched by an England player. That will be back to 0 in the tackle count. It is. It's the first knock on. He'll put down the scrum and it'll be head and feed to the exiles.
And again, the combination of the 2 halfbacks, Rangi Chase and Thomas Luluwai, just mesmerising the England defence at times.
I agree. I don't think we can appreciate how influential Thomas Luluwai is to this side. I think he does most of the talking and organising out there. And if they put one of those attacking players on that, you see, they did several times in the first half where they created the overlap. I think that's what they'll be working for at some point during these next 6 tackles.
Do you think Rangi Chase alongside him is playing his way into the Kiwis 4 Nations team come the end of the year? His only previous representative honour has been as a player in the New Zealand Maoris team.
Without doubt.
Here he is. Hits it away to Kylie Luluwai.
Watch for the inside drop pass if Rangi Chase gets it. No, they've gone for the big fellas.
Pulatua. Now it's Badiris. It's England's turn to work very hard in defence here because the exiles are 9 metres away from their line. Fayumu, Chase. And here is Manu and gets it away to Carmont. He's over the line.
Can't get it down.
Good defence.
Tremendous.
That will encourage them.
It certainly will encourage Steve McNamara, but it's the build-up that he has to be concerned with. Creating all sorts of havoc. It's all right coming back and getting the numbers there, but it takes a lot of energy out of you.
So it's tackle 4 here, and they're 10 metres away from the line. Of course, the tackle count continues. They just moved back 10 metres. Brett Hodgson. Scrambling England defence here to halt him. No metres gained forward. They've just gone from the left-hand side to centre field.
But it'd be a kick into the in-goal area, surely. No, it's gone for the corner.
High from Rangi Chase looking for Richards. And they get away with it, England.
Well, Richards will be furious.
There's a penalty. They'll be furious about that.
Richards will be furious at the fact that the kick was put up. This is the reason why they got the penalty. Little doubt that Kylie Luluwai had hold of the leg, but the kick good. Richards there. What happens? No support.
And I think that set of 6, to me, defensively from England, indicates that they could be the team that finished stronger in this final quarter of the match. They've certainly got the players that have played together in recent history, certainly in the Four Nations last year. There's plenty of players that were on that tour and played in those games, where, of course, the Exiles team, there's a lot of guys who haven't played together. They look like they're starting to fatigue. They're getting a little frustrated because they haven't scored any points.
Here come England down that left side with Shenton again. That could easily have been another penalty to the English. However, the referee allows them to play on. Westwood.
Now then, a scampering run by Robinson. Come on, get him on the back foot.
Go.
Robinson to Graham. Back it comes to Sinfield. Sinfield then to Tompkins. Tompkins trying to slide the kick through, but Carmon snaked the leg out.
Move. Hold.
It's promising the build-up, but the telling moment of any attack is wanting a little.
Yeah, it's how you finish, and it wasn't the best attempt, was it?
Good. Move.
No points in this second half. 10-6 as we were at half-time.
Surrender.
James Graham with a good tackle. The Exile surrendered. It was Fayumu. Morrison gets the ball away. And this is Soliola.
Move. Go.
That's the last one. Luluwai's kick. He was under pressure then. Not the best. Tompkins to Briscoe. Briscoe trying to straighten it up, spinning away. Morrison's after him.
Quick play the ball now, and then that should be a penalty. They want to get on with the game in England, and they've been refused the opportunity, and Richard Silva has got to at least get the whistle out for going a bit.
You know, in one breath, you have to compliment England's patience, Eddie, aren't they? They're not attempting to offload the ball in their own half. They're not looking for that miracle pass just here now to magic their way out of trouble. But look, they're working their way downfield. That's the inside ball they've looked for Tompkins. But the Exiles' defence is very good, isn't it? Over an hour into the match, they're watching for all the little short plays.
Graham, oops, to nobody in particular. Sinfield has to retreat, retain possession for his side. A bit of space for Sinfield, but he just had to take the tackle right on halfway.
On the line here, wait. Go.
Robinson now. A kick from Myler. It's a bit of a nothing kick, really.
It's bounced well. It looked as though it was going dead. Bounced very well. The back spin on it. Now it's important now that England just keep them. Oh, and they've given away a silly penalty.
Hold him back down, Ryan.
You can't argue with that penalty, can you? They clearly, once he got into that position, Pat Richards, he had a right to stand up and play the ball, but he was rolled over backwards. Ryan Hall knew instantly. That's just taken the pressure off the Exiles.
And the Exiles are doing exactly the same, but they're doing it, shall we say,
better,
and out of the eye of the referee. Ooh, big hit.
He just slipped as well, didn't he, Willie Manu?
Felt it as well. He's not 100%.
He got a knock in the first half, didn't he, after he scored the try. 66.5 minutes, 10-6 the Exiles. Match is to be won still.
And again, good defence by England, you know, that's the coach would be happy with that.
Luluwai, back it comes to Morrison. Morrison gets it away to Melly. He has the strength to get away from Myler. This now is Sia Soliola. Shenton does okay.
Look at Luluwai. He's marshalling things out there. Come on, move on to it. Great pass.
Finds Chase. Chase over the top finds Carmont. Carmont has got Sinfield ahead of him. Bridge there for good measure as well. That's the last one for the Exiles. 15 metres away from the England line. Rangi Chase, that was forward. Badiris, Luluwai. Luluwai gets the ball away. Finds its way to Cousin Thomas. Here is Hodgson. High, great kick this. Great kick. Tompkins, good chase. Melly. Tompkins has lost the ball.
No, it's already blown up. Richard Silva would have said it already. That's it. Drop out underneath the sticks. But boy, that came out late. Big hit there. Francis Melly.
He didn't ground it.
Oof, that should have been a try.
Was it a dangerous tackle?
Well, that's all right. Does it spin him? And that's all right. Well, one leg. Goes over the horizontal. Either way, they've got away with it, England.
They have, in a big way. So Kevin Sinfield with the dropout, straight to Thomas Luluwai, gives it to Tylee. Whoa! Westwood was hunting somebody there.
Oh, he's gone for the swinger as well as Westwood. I might have missed your first time, but take this on the second occasion. Boy, that was like the 345 going down the King's Cross.
Morrison. Got the ante here, the Exiles. Luluwai skipping through them. Just pulled down on tackle number 3. Look where they are, though. The Exiles, they're 8 metres away from the line, and it's an intercept. It was brilliantly read by Joel Tompkins, and Joel Tompkins has got 4 after him. They're not going to catch him.
He'll get there.
Joel Tompkins from one end of the field to the other for England. Was he offside at the other end? The referee has a word with the touch judge, but Dearest appeals for him to go to the video referee. And what a run from Tompkins from one end of the field to the other. Levels the scores for England. The patience has paid off, and Joel Tompkins off the bench. That new career in the centre that he's getting himself at Wigan has paid dividends there, because he didn't look like he was treading in wet cement, did he? He kept the legs pumping. There were 4 and 5 after him, and Tompkins comes up with a great English try.
Well, the intensity was lifted by the big run by Westwood. Didn't get him clean, then came back and said, I'll get you again. It was a nice swinging arm. Luluwai would have felt that. Was he onside? Perhaps not. It doesn't matter. At least he got himself into a position. One thing the Exiles have done, they've thrown that long ball, he sniffed it out, and the toes were twinkling. He made it. It's all turned around, and England take the lead.
Was he onside?
Well, I went to watch the world fastest man run last night, and I don't even think Usain Bolt could have got there in that from an onside position to take that ball.
Well, Sinfield here to put England ahead for the first time tonight. He doesn't miss from that range, Kevin Sinfield. England lead by 12 points to 10. Should this have been allowed?
I don't think so, but
Maybe he's onside.
Yes. Apologies.
Usain Bolt.
Watch out, he is, yes. What about the speed endurance? So after he's taken it to the 50, none of the players get near him. Usually when a player runs with the ball, obviously that slows him down. He's not got 2 arms to pump for the try line. But none of the Exiles could get back and track him, and he was onside. My apologies, Mr. Tompkins. His brother was trapped in goal. I thought the goal line dropout might have led to an Exiles try, but it was the other way around.
well, this should spark it up now. For once, it was very quiet of the English fans.
Well, with 9 minutes to go, England have hit the front for the first time. Phil, just tell our viewers, would you, the price of beer in Oslo, would you?
Oh, it's quite expensive. Save up for a while if you are ever going to Oslo. If you're taking a break from the Rugby League heartland, then save up and go and see the bank manager. It is quite expensive.
You're not going to reveal the amount?
It was £11.90 per pint.
Oh, dear me. I bet that stung the good northerner.
We only had 2.
Each. Hodgson.
At 2 halves.
It's only London prices, isn't it? Now then, what can we get from the Exiles? And they've got the ball away, but
they're out there.
Yeah, they will not give this in, that's for sure.
Well, can England hold the lead? Can they build the lead? The Exiles are stung, you know. They really want to win this, Brian McLennan's team. But Dearest appealed to the referee to go to the screen to have a look at whether Tompkins was onside, offside. Well, the picture would have proved he was onside. Here is Luluwai, gets the ball away to Manu. Good tackle that by Kevin Sinfield. Last one here for the Exiles. Thomas Luluwai looks, places it out wide, and it's Ryan Hall underneath it, who's very safe under those tonight. Even when the sun was shining in his eyes, start of the game up the other end, he was safe. Charles Shenton's lost it. And here's Hodgson. Graham.
Well, is that a fine game? Is that a fine game as Michael Shenton? And to come up with that error could be very costly indeed.
Rangi Chase, and Manu still, and Manu still.
Tim Dobson, you see Badira's throw a dummy and go for it, and he's not going to be selfish.
That was little Robinson attacking Tony Pulatua in that first tackle. He's a game boy, is Luke Robinson. England have to be big in defence here. Thomas Luluwai, Craig Fitzgibbon back to Brett Hodgson. Graham grounds him, but only 3 tackles gone.
Hodgson went too early, took that ball standing still.
Graham standing over Brett Hodgson. Here's Badiris, comes back to Morrison, almost a fairy tale for Morrison. Hodgson to Badiris, Badiris to Luluwai, flick back to Rangi Chase. Here's the danger man. Oh, good defence from Ben Westwood.
That's what was needed as well.
Carmont, Luluwai dabs it to the in-goal area, and Sam Tompkins allows the ball to just trickle its way into touch. Took the gamble then, and it came up bell, bell, bell.
Well, that's what they need as well, and now they've got the possession. They've got to make sure the good hard work, and it has to be finished. He did well, didn't he? He put his foot over the whitewash before he touched the ball. That was quick thinking by the fullback.
Just asked the video referee then to check that collision with Tompkins.
See how he gets
his foot on the line there.
That means he's out. That's good play.
Made sure that he would not surrender the possession from the scrum by putting his foot on the line, which means he's out of play even if the ball hits him, which it did.
This has got to be good, hard, solid work now by England, and they've got to make sure that the kick and chase is good.
Well, holding on to the ball and the tackle's the first thing before they even think about getting to the kick, isn't it? Under pressure here now, the hits are coming in. Danny Badiris trying to force the ball free. They know there's going to be very hard to get a long-range try here tonight. We've seen the interception one from Joel Tompkins.
A 40-20 attempt here from Sinfield. Just didn't quite get the angle right, but it's a great kick.
It certainly is, and they've gone early. They went on the third, and that is quick thinking.
Richards fires the pass to Francis Melly.
And good defensive position there. Even though the kick was down on the right-hand side, you can see that the left-hand flanked in defence. They came up quickly, allowing no space whatsoever. Well, the intercept try by Joel Tompkins really has lifted the England side.
But the Exiles are still coming. They're still looking for something in the last 5 minutes of this match. This is Fitzgibbon. Gets the ball away to Badiris. Good hands then to Chase. He then gets it away. Oh, there's nearly another one then. Nearly another intercept, but here comes Brett Hodgson. Now it's with Willie Manu, and it goes down, and eventually is grounded by Chris Bridge. This is Carmont. Here is Hodgson. Hodgson flicks it wildly. It goes back to Rangi Chase. Collision with Pulatua. Oh, Rangi Chase almost through. Pulatua might be. Gets the ball away to Craig Fitzgibbon. Here now is Thomas Luluwai. England holding their shape in defence. Myler gets to him, but they still get the ball away. It's another of the big men. It's Falongo.
It's on the last. Will they go for broke? Will they go for the power play or the kick? No, they've gone for the corner.
It's the kick to the corner for Rangi Chase. And Tom Briscoe picks up. He's now given a penalty for offside.
Interference, I think, Eddie. Taking the man off the ball.
You're right, yes. Obstruction. Wondering how on earth it could be for offside, but well.
Well, he certainly went into him, Bridge, didn't he? It's as simple as that. Picked up by the touch judge. Even more pressure. Now, if they can keep them out,
how many times do we see them running blocks like that in Super League, Steve?
I know, but this is where Steve McNamara will be saying this is where our side has to show their guts and determination.
Well, it's a huge test of them here. This is Luluwai again, and it comes back to Brett Hodgson!
Can't get it down.
Wonderful defence.
He should have passed it. He had the overlap, and I think Brett Hodgson went for glory rather than get it out wide. He had the overlap, couldn't get it down.
It's Richie Myler again, with a bit of help from Michael Shenton.
And I think Brett Hodgson realises that he should have flipped it out. It was a 2-on-1 there.
Not over yet. Badiris, Luluwai, Fitzgibbon. Ben Westwood wrapped him up.
Well, I keep saying the point that Badiris hasn't gone from dummy half very rarely in this game.
Now it's Luluwai. Down he goes on the last tackle. Good hit by Luke Robinson. Heroic English defence on show here. Rangi Chase dabs it to the in goal. Oh, it's bouncing all over the place. Referee has blown the whistle. It'll take the first knock on. No, it's the turnover. England survive all that pressure.
I said it before, Steve McNamara will be so pleased with this. Oh, what an opportunity.
That's the knock on. It was off David Falongo.
And Myler interfered there and just put him off enough.
Well, there's Joel Tompkins coming off. He's the long-range try scorer. Carvel will drive it forward for England again. The Exiles will have maybe another set of 6. They don't want to lose this, the Exiles.
That's for sure. You can see the intensity, but it's up the jumper time now. Now, who's going to take the responsibility for the kick? Luke Robinson said, who wants it? Are they going early? Oh, they were going.
Robinson, a little scampering run. He's been impressive when he's been on the field.
Yep.
Downtown.
And Kevin Sinfield. The kick is right into the arms of Francis Melly. So this could be the Exiles' last throw of the dice.
One. Move! Back 10. No penalties.
Luluai.
Okay.
And this is Soliola.
Move! Hold. Go.
Plays it to Luluai. It's Hodgson. Hodgson disappears under tackle number 3. 3 tackles, you feel, between England and victory here against the Exiles. Chase, though, gets it away to Carmont, and it's now to Willie Manu. And Manu has got Briscoe on his back, and he's got 2 others around him. That's a tremendous run. This is Badiris. Badiris then to Rangi Chase. Has he got a bit of magic here, Chase? Gets the ball away. And it's the big man, Pulatua. And here is Carmont. And Carmont goes over for the Exiles. Brian McLennan and Terry Masterson hug each other and celebrate. They know that's the winning try. They just upped the ante in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Than the Exiles. They were determined not to lose this match, and not lose it they will. George Carmont with the try, the Samoan international playing his best for Wigan in the Super League. And George Carmont and the smiles, well, they tell their own story.
And fair play to the Exiles for keeping this ball alive. They had to take the gamble. The near the seconds was ticking away. And you can see that some of the England players struggling to get back into position. They'd nothing to lose. This man, what about that offload there from Rangi Chase? He has been superb. They took the gamble. They had the numbers. And he had the power to swing it. The Exiles, they'll wrap this up. And to be fair, they've been the better side throughout the entire game. And it's justice, perhaps, has been done. Take nothing away from the defensive effort by England in the second half.
Do you think Brian McLennan didn't want to win this?
Oh, you bet he did.
And Richards, he adds the extras. The final siren has sounded. It is all over. The Exiles have won by 16 points to 12. A last-minute try from George Carmont. Steve McNamara and Darryl Powell exit the England coaching staff disappointed. It looked as though Joel Tompkins' long-range try had won the match for them. But the Exiles, after that, they really did turn up the gas on England. They wanted a contest. Boy, they got a contest. And it was won by Carmont in the very last minute. Richards added the goal for good measure. Played in great spirit, this. Could be the start of something big for English Rugby League. We shall see. But Brian McLennan delighted, and I just wonder if Steve McNamara will be bitterly disappointed his men couldn't hold on, Phil.
I'm sure he will, but the aim of the game was to try and get a competitive match for England. You Can't get one better than that, can you? Going into the last 60 seconds, match determined by a great effort by George Carmont. So defensively, they just over-chased in their last few minutes desperately, all going towards the corner flag. Carmont stepped back inside, and none of them then could prevent him from such close range.
Well, Joel Tompkins must have thought he'd won it with that long-range try. He had the legs and he beat the on-rushing Exiles defenders. But not to be. Another disappointment for England, but a good workout for them.
I think so. I think that gives them something to work from now, doesn't it? There was plenty in the match that they'll need to improve before they get to the Four Nations, but they've now had several training sessions. It's a real live event, wasn't it, on which they can work, on which they can build, and which they can learn from.
Well, Rangi Chase has been awarded the man of the match, and he receives it from Brian Kenyon, who is the president of the sponsors of this international origin car plan. Rangi Chase picks up a very nice piece of glassware, and what's more, he will have an interview, and the interview will be conducted by Bill Arthur.
Thanks very much, Brian Kenyon. Rangi, congratulations. That was hard work all the way through, wasn't it? Right up to the final minute.
Yeah, it was a fast game, you know. There's hardly any breaks, so it was a tiring game. It was, you know, it was another level to what I'm used to at Super League. So it was a good experience, and it was a good game. Yeah, awesome.
A lot of people were wondering just how intense it was. It didn't seem, nobody seemed to be holding back.
No, as I said, man, there was hardly any breaks, and the boys were getting stuck into each other up the middle. There were some big shots, and you know, in the end, there we knew it was going to be a tight game, and we just snuck away with it at the end. So yeah, the boys are happy. I think we've done well, considering, you know, we only had a few days together, and we brought it together and snuck it at the end there.
Obviously, it means something to you.
It means a lot, you know. Hopefully, we can keep doing this year by year, but we're all representing our countries and our families and that. You know, Australia, New Zealand, Samoa and Tonga, we all come together and played as one today. So I think the boys should hold their heads up high and be proud.
Well done tonight, Rangi, man of the match performance.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
We can hear from the England captain, Jamie Peacock, now, who's joined us. And Jamie, the defence have been so strong all evening. To concede that at the death, that's a heartbreaker, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty disappointed. We probably stopped playing a little bit towards the end. We could have probably found a few more passes when we just got in front and enabled them to get a little bit of field position. They've got some dangerous players.
Nip and tuck all the way through, and there were some good signs from England there, defence especially.
Yeah, I think so. You can see how much it means to play for England by some of the defensive effort from the boys, you know, hunting back and trying to stop tries left, right and centre, and it bodes well for the future. It was a difficult game. We didn't get the result, but it's going to help us build towards the Four Nations at the end of the year.
You didn't have a full complement. Obviously, there were guys missing. James Roby, Danny Brough, if he'd been selected, the Australian contingent. Might it have been a different story if you'd had all hands on board?
Yeah, that's all ifs and maybes, isn't it? We can only play with the team we've got out there, and I thought we performed well. We just got beat just at the end, death like that, but it's something we're going to have to learn from. That's what the opposition are going to be like come the end of the year, so hopefully we'll take something out of it from that.
Jamie, thanks very much. Quick word from Danny Badiris before he goes and gets the trophy. It obviously means a lot. The celebrations on the sideline when you went in there.
Yeah, any game you go into battle, you want to come out the other side of the win, and you know, at the end of the day, they got a good hit out England, but it was more than that for us boys. We came together in a 3 to 4 day camp, and to be honest with you, I've had the time of my life, and I enjoyed every minute of it, and only fitting that we got the win there in the end.
Well done tonight. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Bill. Ta, mate.
It was a quick word from Danny Badiris, because they want him for the trophy presentation. He will take home the Carplan International Origin Trophy. They have won this game, the Exiles. Disappointment again for England, but they decided they didn't want an easy win against the French or the Welsh. I think Danny Badiris is also going to have to talk to the crowd as well, and hopefully we'll be able to hear him. So maybe a little bit longer from Danny here, but that's what it's been all about, that trophy that's behind him. And here he goes. Danny Badiris will talk to the Headingley crowd right now.
What a night. First and foremost, England, thank you very much to give us an opportunity to come together as one. The nations down there.
I don't think we can hear Danny Badiris on the TV, but they can hear in the studio, in the stadium rather, and he's just thanking England for the effort and thanking everyone for coming up here, and and winning this trophy has meant a lot to the Exiles team, Sean. Really, it really has.
It certainly has, Eddie, and they were deserved winners. I think it would have been a bit of an injustice, really, had they not have won the game. But he was outstanding, as were many other players for their team, and I think, you know, Danny Badiris typifies what a leader and what a captain's all about.
There it is. The Exiles have won this international origin match, the first one of something that the Rugby Football League hope will build for the future. England have got what they wanted, a workout, but they haven't got the results they wanted, Steve-O.
No, but Steve McNamara, the England coach, will be quite happy with the much that, especially the defence in the second half. All right, I think all the England players realise that there's a lot to be done in regards to the attack. It looked a little bit disjointed at times, but you've got to build on it, and this is the only way we can. And let's hope that this will continue on now. Attracted a very, very good crowd, and you can see that the pleasure that's on these players' faces, you know, and Rangi Chase, who was superb tonight, made it quite clear, all those people down under, that's how important it is. But it is also important for us, and I don't think that Steve McNamara can feel too upset about it. Okay, they come out defeated, but there are things that he can build upon, he can make it better. He knows that he's got to get someone out there. The Exiles had Rangi Chase and Thomas Luluwai. They control everything, and I'm with Sean. It would have been an injustice if the Exiles would have lost, especially to an intercept try. But England kept doggedly, time and time again. They went into it, they tried everything that they got. They didn't make many breaks, but the defence was superb, and they can build on that. And this is what he wanted. He wanted a tough game, and boy, it was.
Yes, he got exactly what he wanted, Steve McNamara, but there are England faces out there that show that, yes, it was important to the Exiles, but it most certainly was important to England as well. They wanted to win this too.
Yeah, no one plays to come second, and I think that England have shown a lot of passion tonight. They've shown a lot of pride. To me, they've shown a progression as well, in a maturity. I saw a maturity in a team there tonight against a very good Exiles side. I thought the Exiles team would win. I thought it would be fairly tight. I'm not in the habit of predicting score lines, but I think we got about what I thought we would get, although the Exiles probably would be disappointed because I think they created more opportunities and they didn't quite take advantage of that. England, however, I think will benefit from this game enormously for the end of the year. It's certainly a great workout. Steve McNamara has done his homework, he's planned, he's asked for this game. I think, in fact, he begged. I remember at a team meeting, at a meeting once with coaches at the start of the year, it was basically begging everyone to support this, and everybody has. The whole game has supported this one match, and I think that it's great for the progression of the England team.
And you saw Brian McLennan there. I mean, if there is a man who can motivate players, Steve-O, better than him, I've yet to meet him.
Yeah, he knows exactly what it's all about. But the one thing about Brian McLennan that I've always liked, he has that passion. He talks from within, and he gets across to the players and saying that those people down under, he will have been banging on that about it. And we are playing against the Pommies, and it has always been the great fight. And he's that type of player. A lot of people criticize him and say perhaps he's not the best tactician in the world, but he wins trophies, and he's proved it again tonight.
Yes, he's won 4 nations. It was a Tri-Nations, wasn't it, when he won it? Wasn't it? It was a Tri-Nations when Brian McLennan. But he began this tremendous run that New Zealand Rugby League is having in the international arena, and he is absolutely delighted. Now, we'll talk to Brian McLennan, we'll talk to Steve McNamara at length.